Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the DLF Trade Show, where we are alive and kicking and ready to bring you into what is possibly the most exciting moment in Dynasty fantasy football. It's draft season, baby. We are almost there. So, we are going to gear you up. We are going to take you and mold you into a person who is ready to make some trades before your rookie draft. Let's just go. Let's talk about Michael Carter and let's throw him in here in the context of our first trade, which is a 12-team Superflex league, where Michael Carter was straight up traded for Darnell Mooney. Michael Carter in the analyzer is 123.8, Darnell Mooney 112.4. It is perfect, if you ask me, because these are both players that can sort of be hurt by the draft. I got to be honest. The Bears are going to draft a wide receiver. The Bears need to draft a wide receiver. Will another receiver hurt Darnell Mooney? Probably not. Like, he shouldn't be the one. He'll probably benefit from another wide receiver, another passing option being on that team. Cole Kmet most likely is not that guy. You know, they probably should bring in someone else. But what matters more than whether it will help the NFL player is what it will do to his dynasty value. And as the masses see another wide receiver brought in, instantly it goes, all right, well, I got to lower the value of the guy that's there already, especially because Mooney isn't that alpha. He's not that guy. He's not the target hog that we wouldn't be worried if they brought someone else in. So I think Mooney has a chance of dropping his value. Carter has a chance of dropping his value. They're practically even in the analyzer. So go with what makes you happy. Like, I guess I kind of want to say Mooney is the answer because after the draft, if both of these teams do draft someone of the same positions, Mooney will be more productive, I guess is a way to say it. Like, he'll still do well in fantasy where Michael Carter could just be a backup and that would crush him value-wise. So I hate that you did this to me, but I'm going to take Darnell Mooney in this trade, but I think the value, at least right now, is completely even.
That last point you made was basically like my decision on this as well, was that if the Jets and the Bears both add a same position player, whose value is safer after the draft? And to me, it's Darnell Mooney. It's the wide receiver. Because that team is still so devoid of talent, and they don't have a first round pick because they used that to get Justin Fields last year. So the earliest that they pick is like the early-ish mid-second, which would still be a good wide receiver in this wide receiver class, but it's not going to be like a Treylon Burks or a Garrett Wilson. It's not going to be one of those guys. It's going to be maybe a David Bell or a Sky Moore. Maybe they luck out and get like a George Pickens or something like that as more of like an alpha wide receiver, but that's the range that we're in for a rookie.
But I'm also still good with that for Darnell Mooney if they do that.
Right. That's what I mean. Where like Darnell Mooney will still be very heavily involved in this offense, no matter the wide receiver that they do bring in. Michael Carter, the Jets have 6 picks between the first round and the 111. Michael Carter was drafted at the 107 last year. Their 4th round pick is the 111. So essentially 6 picks that will either beat or match Michael Carter's draft capital. The first 2 in the first round, they're top 10. They're not taking a running back. But so then that leaves 2 second round picks in the early second, basically top 10 second round picks. They got like the 306 and then they got like the 406. So that's like 4 opportunities for them to really, if they wanted to invest in a running back. And I think that if they did, it may not be Breece Hall, it may not be Kenneth Walker, but I think what the Jets could be looking to do is bring in more of a thumper because Michael Carter can kind of be operated or at least be typecasted as more of like a third down, not necessarily a scat back, but more of that kind of back. They could get a guy like Jerome Ford. They could get a guy like Dameon Pierce, like a really big guy to be the 1 and 2 and kind of like the goal line guy. And Michael Carter becomes like a DeAndre Swift or Alvin Kamara, like super light version. That's just the usage that he's in. And that scares me. That I don't really like.
That's rough.
So that's why I think, the safety of Darnell Mooney after the NFL draft, even with the probability that they do add a wide receiver, I'd much rather have that than Michael Carter.
Let's just move on to the next one. Okay, this next one is interesting. It is the 112 and Michael Carter for Derrick Henry, again in a 12-team Superflex league. So the 112 comes in at 204.5. Michael Carter still 123.8 for a total of 328.3. And Derrick Henry by himself 389.5. It is super easily Derrick Henry for me. He's still good. Okay.
He's
Here's
still
the thing.
good? Question mark?
We have to, at this point, lump a bunch of running backs together, and two of those that are easily included are Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook, where we're at the point where their dynasty value will no longer come anywhere near the value of their production. You know, their fantasy value in season is always way going to outweigh the cost to trade them away.
Mm-hmm.
And my kid just like skydived off the top of the ropes onto the floor is what it sounded like. So yeah, give me Derrick Henry for this, because what are you getting at the 112 in a Superflex league? At this point, you're QB 3-ish, wide receiver 6 or 7, and running back probably 4. Give me Derrick Henry for a year or two. Chances are the Titans aren't going to waste a pick on a running back right now. Worthwhile pick, let me say, because again, every single one of their backups seems to get hurt anyway. Darrington Evans was like, "Woo, we're gonna get a receiving back." Oh no, okay. Like, what was Deonta Foreman last year, and I think he's gone already. Like,
Yep.
So yeah, they need bodies. So I don't think it's anyone going to be brought in that we need to worry about, but they are going to bring in a running back. In which case, give me that production, which we saw how good he was doing at the beginning of last year. Don't get me wrong. I am still scared of very large men with broken feet with foot issues. And yeah, but like, honestly, at this price, easily Derrick Henry. Honestly, if I'm rebuilding, give me Derrick Henry and I'll flip him for better than 112 and a running back that might lose his value midseason.
Yeah.
Mid-season, I'll make the trade for a guy who might lose his value next week. That was worded poorly. I just wanted to fix that sentence.
Yeah. I saw this and I was like, why is this so easily Derrick Henry? And then I put it into the trade analyzer and it was like a 70-point difference. And I'm like, why is this only a 70-point difference? That's just how not valuable Derrick Henry is right now.
Yeah.
And
especially ADP of like 4th, 5th rounds. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. But like, again, once we see him, once he rips off his first like 150 and 2 touchdown
base
game,
planting,
probably
like
week 1,
stiff arming a dude into his grave. Yeah.
And we're gonna be like, oh, this is Derrick Henry. This is what we're doing. The guy who had more points per game last year than Jonathan Taylor, and it took Jonathan Taylor like 7 weeks after Henry got hurt just to pass him.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah, this is so easily Derrick Henry to me. And I do agree, and I like what you said about even if you're rebuilding, it might make sense to take the younger assets, but you can just hold Derrick Henry and just sell him in season to a team that is trying to compete, and maybe they'll give you a discount on a better younger player. Because the
two things you need for that, the ability to take on risk and patience. If you don't have those two things, stick with the younger things. But if you can handle those two, Derrick Henry. Next player we have was actually a player Addison and I kind of argued about. This, like, because we're trying to find players for both trade for and trade away, and we picked Amon-Ra St. Brown for different things. Here's the thing. Here's my argument for Amon-Ra St. Brown being a buy now, even though that's not what we're talking about. It's really just everyone at this point that I have talked to, everyone that I have thrown this idea out at, has just like nodded along and said, yes, no one has even argued. Detroit needs help with pass catchers. Detroit is most likely going to bring in more pass catchers, especially with the fact that all they brought in was DJ Chark. Don't get me wrong. I don't dislike DJ Chark, especially at the price of next to nothing that he's at right now. But for an NFL team, you need more. This is in everyone's head already. This isn't news. So when they draft someone, I don't think anyone's going to be surprised. So I think Amon-Ra's value kind of dropped a little bit already on its own. I don't think waiting until after the draft will help. But I mean, let's just see. Let's talk about these trades and see if it's worthwhile. The first trade we have is in a 14-team superflex where Amon-Ra St. Brown by himself, coming in at 165 points, was somehow traded for Keenan Allen in the 110, where both of those pieces are worth more than Amon-Ra St. Brown himself. Again, Amon-Ra 165, Keenan 285.6, the 110 242.4. Let's just say it out loud for the fun of it. 528 is the total of those two. So when Amon-Ra St. Brown comes in at 165, I'm gonna go get that now. Will it get lower after the draft? Like, if anything, people are gonna start talking themselves into, oh, they drafted an alpha guy. That's not going to stop Amon-Ra. That's not what he is. That's not. I don't. The Dynasty community loves to double count things. Man, this guy's fast. Let's boost his value. He ran a 4.2 something at the combine. Boost his value. No, we knew he was fast. Why are we boosting his value again? We knew that. Like, that's the kind of thing that just happens a lot. So yes, if Detroit goes into the draft and goes and grabs another slot possession kind of receiver, maybe we worry a little bit about the kind of volume that Amon-Ra can get. But if they go in and get a Treylon Burks kind of dude, which please don't take him that early. Don't take him. Like, if he's there at the beginning of the second, cool, go for it. That doesn't really hurt Amon-Ra to me. So in my head, if you wait, you run the risk of people figuring out, wait, no, this isn't that bad. So I'm going to value him maybe not what he was a couple of 2 months ago, because that was crazy, but not this low. This is really, really low to me. And I'm talking a lot, so I'm just going to say, give me Allen in the one. Give me Allen or the 110. I mean, in a 14 team, that level of wide receiver doesn't really hold much value. So give me either of those two, because we know the production Keenan will give you. It's not, there's no mystery to it.
Yeah, I was very surprised by this trade. It was funny. I did the whole, I found this, put it in here in the show sheet. I scrolled down a little bit more on Amon-Ra, and then I found Amon-Ra and a second for Keenan Allen, just done a few days before in a different league. So yeah, that kind of shows you kind of how these values are, and that the idea that every league is its own market.
Oh yeah, you might just have to see if you have that Amon-Ra guy in your league to be like, hey, you like it, you like him, right?
Yeah.
Keenan in a 110. Let's do it.
I would definitely break Keenan down into Amon-Ra plus if it was a good plus. This is a trade that, whichever side the 110 is on, I'm taking that side.
I kind of love that they still have Keenan worth a first. I'm not going to lie. That makes me really happy to see, because he should be, but not everyone values him like that because he's 74.
Right. But I do. So what I was saying, kind of what was a little bit opposite of you, was that I think that Amon-Ra is kind of a sell now, because while we do believe that the Detroit Lions will draft a wide receiver, his value still will go down when they draft, because then that actually happened. It's no more postulating and saying that, I think, and even if the consensus thinks that they will, now the consensus knows, because we've seen that they actually drafted a player. They have 2 picks in three picks. They have 2 picks and 3 picks. They have 32 and then they have 34. So that makes any sense whatsoever.
Okay, yes, thank you. I had no idea what you were trying to say, so I appreciate that you clarified.
Yes. So they have 32 and they have 34, which is perfect range for a wide receiver with either one of those 2 picks. So they could very easily bring in somebody else. And the argument is just, while they might not help, or they might not hurt Amon-Ra in the fact that Amon-Ra has his own role, the other guy has his own role. It's just the more bodies that are there means less targets individually to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Also, when you factor in the fact that they have a borderline top 5 fantasy tight end, or at least somebody that we believe could be there. TJ Hawkinson, and DeAndre Swift is what we hope to be a 100 target running back. So there's just a lot of pieces there that can hurt Amon-Ra St. Brown's target share, which will hurt his production and not be what we saw at the end of the year. But what I was wondering was, if you are right in saying that the dip after the Lions take a wide receiver after the draft, is that dip a significant dip, or is it like he goes from wide receiver 25 now to like wide receiver 28 or 29? You know?
Yeah, like that's kind of where I'm at, where a lot of the time, like Peter Howard says this a lot of the time where we say go buy low on this guy, or now's the time to go buy this person. It's not that you get them for a better price than they were at a week or two or whatever happens to make you say those words. It's just that that player might be more available now. While someone might value Amon-Ra St. Brown at this level, and then they draft a wide receiver, and you're sitting there thinking, all right, I can get him at this level now. The answer is probably no, but the chances are this person might be willing to actually sell that player at this level because of what happened. So I don't think you'll get him cheaper, but maybe the person will be more likely to actually make the move, if that makes sense. It does make sense. You know what? No, I'm not backpedaling. I am not leaving room for people to not be upset because I said something. No, that made sense. Deal with it. So like, I think that's where I am with St. Brown, where if you can get him now, I don't wait. I just go get him if you want him. If you want to trade him away,
do this.
Or this one. Like, let's talk about the next trade, which I'm also completely on board with, which is Amon-Ra in a 12-team Superflex, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and a 23 first for Javonte Williams. Now, the thing is, Javonte Williams is the next player we're going to talk about, spoiler alert. But at that price, I'm going to go get Javonte Williams, the 23 first, 384.2, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 165, Javonte by himself, 585.6. which is a difference of, what is that, like 36 points?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. It's a difference of nothing. That's a fair trade. This is going to be so annoying how many times we're going to say this every single time a 23 first is going to be brought up. If you could tell me it's top half of the draft, because it's going to matter. It really, really is. And the thing is, we tell you not to play the guessing game, but everyone does a little bit.
So I did look at this guy's roster because I said, oh, he's trading away a 23 first. That's very interesting. But he's also getting Javonte, so that will probably help him.
Yes.
I looked at his roster. He's got Lamar Jackson and Kirk Cousins in a super flex, which is pretty solid. Nice. He now is getting Javonte Williams and also already had Najee Harris and James Conner. So running backs, he's looking pretty good.
Super solid already.
Wide receivers, I forget. He had like one big name and then like Hollywood and Michael Thomas, I think. And then at tight end, he had like, it was like a middling kind of guy.
Okay.
So like overall, I feel like it's a playoff team.
Yeah.
With if a couple things maybe go right, could go to be like 110, 111, 112.
Yeah, like this is not picks 1 through 4. Let's throw that out there.
Yeah, something bad has to happen.
If it's me and I have a decent team and I could sell my 23 first and Amon-Ra St. Brown for Javonte Williams, I'm totally doing that because getting Javonte will make your pick worse. And when you trade away your future first, that's the goal. So Javonte Williams, let's not talk about Javonte Williams yet because we're going to do that in a couple of minutes. This is easily Javonte for me.
I saw the roster up. He has Deontay Johnson, Chris Godwin, and Michael Thomas.
Oh, yes. Go.
And then his tight end is Darren Waller.
Oh, go win the league, man. You go for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is pretty easily Javonte Williams. See, a lot of this is, I guess, why you should be capitalizing on selling what is it, ARSB right now. Apparently his value is still a lot higher than we think. So maybe do sell now. Like,
it definitely does depend. There were a few trades in there that were like Amon-Ra for like a mid-second, people trying to get out now.
Yeah.
So it just kind of depends on who has Amon-Ra in your league and how they feel about him. Because
if you can get these kinds of trades, yes, sell Amon-Ra right now. So yes, giving these trades that I'm sure were carefully picked through and procured by Addison to make his point, that if you can get these trades, then absolutely don't wait to sell Amon-Ra St. Brown. Go do that and go get Javonte, go get Keenan, and go get Keenan or the 110. Hey, if you can get both, more power to you. Like, so absolutely, if you can find these trades, go do them, because we want Amon-Ra to keep being great. We knew he was talented coming into the league. He way in those last few leagues way outperformed. Like, I have to show me the ARSB truther and tell me that that's what they thought he was going to be. And I think that they're probably embellishing what they really thought. Like, that was nuts. So, like, he way outperformed what we thought. So it's much safer to think we're going to pull that back a little bit going forward. A 23 first, again, for that specific team, yeah, push it, go. Let someone dream that it's going to be an earlier pick. Let someone dream that we are getting Justin Jefferson or Justin Herbert or all of these amazing players at the end of the first, which, don't get me wrong, we want and we want to believe, but it's not always going to happen. Sometimes you draft Sterling Shepard before Michael Thomas. I mean, it's just, that's what happens.
Who would do that?
I mean, I have no idea who would do that. That would just be the silliest thing in the world. No less be happy and brag that, oh yeah, you can keep whatever. I'm going to go take Sterling Shepard. It would be silly to believe that the Denver Broncos go into the season with what they have now at running back. They have Javonte Williams and Mike Boone.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't know if there's anyone else.
I think, was it like DeMaurier Crockett or somebody like that?
That guy's still in the league. Good for him.
I feel like that's right when I say that. It is. Yep.
Good for you, man. Good for you. Good for you for sticking around. So. But but the thing is, the reality is, the Broncos can draft a running back in round 6 or 7, and people are going to be upset about it. It's
going to be somebody that they like too, like one of these like day 3 guys that they're like, man, I hope they land in the right situation, and then they go to Denver and they're like, oh boy,
Javonte's in trouble, baby. Here he goes. Javonte's not in trouble. If they draft someone in round 2 or 3, Javonte's not in trouble. Javonte split work last season and was great. Javonte will most likely be better than anyone they bring in. Let's just, I will say that, unless they do something weird and bring in Breece Hall, where at least you have like question about who's going to be better, Javonte's better.
So I'm going to give you a very specific situation before we do these trades.
Okay, please let it be ridiculous. Let's go.
No, they have the last pick in the 2nd round, and then they have, this is like the 10th, 11th pick in the 3rd round. There has, like, the draft season has not been kind to Isaiah Spiller.
Yes.
What if
I knew that was the name you were going to bring up, and I think Javonte's better, but yes, that is
Javonte is better, but that would be bad.
That is the one realistic name that I think would worry me. So let me ask you a question. Which would worry you more? End of day 2, beginning, oh, please not end of day 2. Be somewhere in the middle of day 3. Would you be more worried if they brought in a thumper goal line kind of back, or if they brought in a receiving back? Which would worry you more for Javonte's value?
Receiving.
Okay.
Just because it would be, I think that they would try to take the receiving aspect away from Javonte. I think any thumper that they bring in, Javonte is a thumper. Like, he's like 225 pounds or something like that, you know?
Yeah, but he's still good with catching the ball.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what, like, he's
but he's not like the receiving back size. He's not like 5'8", 190 that you worry he's going to die if he runs up the middle, but get him out in space and he's great.
My fear would be like if they brought in James Cook, they would try to do some like Antonio Gibson or Josh Jacobs kind of thing to Javonte, to where, you know, he's the first and down and maybe he gets 35 receptions, but then James Cook is out here getting 50, 60 receptions as well.
I mean, if you do that, worst case scenario, you get Josh Jacobs, which again isn't bad anymore.
That's good.
How down we were on Josh Jacobs a couple of months ago, and now we're like, at least it's Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, we love Josh Jacobs.
Like, it's funny that the rest of the landscape has changed so differently that now we have to be happy about Josh Jacobs. Like, give me Javonte Williams, who will probably play every single game. At least I don't think he got hurt last season, but he'll give you that steady top 12 numbers. You'll have to hope he scores multiple touchdowns in one game, and to give you that upper RB1 score, but he'll never do you wrong. But also, Javonte Williams is like RB3 or 4 right now.
Yeah, that's not
That's not
what
the price. That's not what you want at that price.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but let's talk about these trades right now, because honestly, all of the we just spent the 5 past minutes talking about how worried we would be, but honestly, I'm still just not worried, because that isn't what the Broncos need to win, and that's what they're doing right now, is doing everything they need to win. I think bringing in a high drafted running back is not the right luxury to go with. But
I think Isaiah Spiller would be the exception to that if Isaiah Spiller falls, because that would be like bringing in a younger Melvin Gordon.
Yeah,
younger, cheaper. Yeah.
Speaking of younger Melvin Gordons, but not cheaper anymore, this next trade we are talking about 12-team Superflex 2-point tight end premium. That does matter. Javonte Williams and Dallas Goedert for Jonathan Taylor, which is why I said younger Melvin Gordon, just because they went to the same college, him and Jonathan Taylor. They have
okay.
not
I was
like
wondering where the
I was trying to transition. It was loose. It was hanging on by a thread, but it was still connected.
So Braylon Allen is just a younger Melvin Gordon, is what you're saying.
Generations, baby. Going all the way up to their great-great-grandfather, Ron Dane. So here's my thing about trading for Jonathan Taylor right now. I couldn't do it. He is the RB1. He deserves to be the RB1. The problem is what the RB1 is right now. Remember what Addison just said a few minutes ago about what it took Jonathan Taylor to catch up to Derrick Henry. Like 6 or 7 games after Henry got hurt. So yes, Jonathan Taylor was the RB1. He scored the most out of the rest of the running backs. It doesn't mean anything when you're putting into context of how much less he's done than everyone else who has finished in the past at RB1. Mm-hmm. So right now, if you're telling me that Javonte Williams is worth 597.6 and Jonathan Taylor is worth 823.1, I guess I'm trading away Jonathan Taylor to go get Javonte Williams and Dallas Goedert, because especially in a 2-point premium for tight ends, chances are, I almost said Miami, but that would be the wrong team. Chances are Philadelphia is bringing in another pass catcher. Doesn't matter. They love using the tight end. Goddard will get his targets, give him 4 to 6 catches a game, 2 points per, that's almost automatic double digits every single week.
Yeah, he's like a wide receiver 2-3-ish in that range. So,
okay, but first, take a step back. I got too excited. Javonte Williams, 597.6. Dallas Goedert only in at 178.2 for a total of 775.8. That is not enough premium on Dallas Goedert. In a tight end premium league, he is worth more than that. I will testify from the rooftops if I have to. Please don't ask me to. It is scary to go on top of roofs. But yeah, I think I would trade away Jonathan Taylor to go get those two. But if it were I like the fact that they had to put something seemingly significant to trade up to the RB1. But in the real world, I don't think there's that big of a difference between Taylor and Williams, in which case give me the every week starter tight end where you get 2 points per reception.
Yeah. I was curious to see if this was enough for you to go from RB1 to probably consensus like RB3 or 4 right now.
In a different world, yes, but if Jonathan Taylor did more last year to show that he's that guy, no one else is going to be Christian McCaffrey. But if he was Christian McCaffrey, where he's going to be the RB1, 2, or 3 for the next couple of years, we're going to get next year a couple of RBs that probably profile as 3 down backs, and that could easily just push Jonathan Taylor down real quick. Mm-hmm. I don't want to pay RB1 numbers for Jonathan Taylor, because while everything I've said I fully believe is true, the fact that he has the label of RB1 means you have to pay close to what you would have for Christian McCaffrey before last year. You have to pay those prices, and that's kind of what this is. Paying up from the RB2 or 3 with a solid, very good tight end and a very, very high premium. I can't do that for Jonathan Taylor.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I would break this down. I'd break JT down to Javonte and Dallas Goedert, and then I would break Javonte Williams down. I would just keep. That
is my kind of move.
By the end of it, you're going to have half a starting lineup, and you're going to be good.
Exactly, right? Stop me when you get to the Aaron Jones level, that's where I'll keep my running back and
Yeah, I was gonna say,
or
like,
hey, Derrick
Jonathan
Henry.
Taylor. Yeah. Then, like, at that point, like, you're not losing production. You just gained like a whole like half a starting lineup. By
You
that
get to
point.
keep Dallas Goedert. You trade Javonte Williams for Derrick Henry, and you could probably get a decent first on top.
Yeah, or like a good wide receiver, you know,
value wise, yeah, like
Yeah.
exactly. Like, I don't have any Javonte Williams, I don't think. Otherwise, I'd go do that right now. I might.
Or like Austin Eckler.
Oh, he's old. Everyone just trade him away. Trade him to me. Trade him to me. The next trade. Oh boy. This is a big one. The next trade is Javonte Williams, Brandon Ayuk, the 210 and 311. So those have nothing to do in this kind of trade, for Justin Jefferson and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. This is all right. Get your ear holes ready because this is going to be a lot of numbers coming in. Javonte Williams at 831.8, Brandon Ayuk 260, the 210 at 87.4, and the 311 at 28.9, totaling 1208.1. Justin Jefferson 937.5, CEH at 288 for a total of 1225.5. Okay, let's take CEH out of this. Would you trade away Justin Jefferson's for Javonte Williams? Did I pluralize Justin Jefferson right there? Jefferson. I think I did. Would you trade away one Justin Jefferson for Javonte Williams, Brandon Ayuk, the 210 and the 311? I don't think I do.
See, this has a new layer on it based on the Deebo Samuel has requested.
Don't give me that. No. That is the worst speculation to take into a trade talk. I know that the NFL has been insane lately when it comes to trades, but not that bad. Like, we don't. No, I'm not. I am not including that into that level of.
I think also too, like, just one more point for that is if they trade Deebo Samuel, they're getting first rounders back and first rounders that they're going to use for wide receivers. And I think they're kind of going to do like a Packers.
They love their second round wide receivers. Besides Deebo, like they tried Pettis in the second. Ayuk was in the first, right?
He was a late first.
Never mind. Okay, so yeah, they love their first round wide receiver. So yeah, they'll probably do it.
Yeah.
Hopefully they get more than just that one pick though. Okay, so let's. This is again. I keep forgetting that we're taking this on the view of trading away these players. So again, yes. If you can get this back for Javonte Williams, go do that. Go get Justin Jefferson. That man's price is not going down anytime soon. So, and Ayuk is good. He's not great. He's not going to ascend to the level of I need this guy on my team. I need to start this guy every week. Like he's going to have his ups and downs where he's going to fall into that pretty replaceable wide receiver. And for me being a wide receiver guy, it's kind of weird to say that. So I don't know. Like, to me, give me Justin Jefferson and I get CEH, who maybe falls into my lineup every once in a while. So yeah, go trade away Javonte Williams for that. All right, the last trade we have for Javonte Williams, man, again, if you can get it, go get it. Javonte Williams in the 109 for Justin Herbert. Javonte Williams, 586.6, the 109, 263.9 for a total of 850.4. Justin Herbert by himself, 939.3. I agree with the analyzer. Justin Herbert will be more of a difference maker at his position than Javonte Williams will be at his. I love that safety. I love Justin Herbert. Like, I guess I don't love what I'm going to get at 109. I like what I can get at 109 in drafts, but I don't love it. So to me, again, if you can, man, I mean, ADP 19 to 2.75. If you think that the 109 should get you that far, that's not true. The rookie 109 should not move you up that many draft picks, like if we're in a startup. So yeah, if you can get Herbert, go get Herbert.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you just get a quarterback that is 24 years old who is playing at like the top of his game, with the potential of also the fact that there's been a lot of rumors that the Chargers are going to draft a wide receiver in the first round again. Like that might not help that wide receiver, but like I've seen rumors that like Jameson Williams is their pick. And like, can you just imagine Justin Herbert throwing to a guy with 4.2 speed on top of also
How
having
did you
Allen
turn this into a Mike Williams slander?
No, it's not.
How
No.
did you do that? Why did you do that?
I don't think that Jameson Williams would hurt Mike Williams. I just think that Jameson Williams would be amazing for Justin Herbert. You know? So anyway, the answer is Justin Herbert. And even if you don't believe that Javonte Williams is a sell before the draft because of the NFL draft, Javonte Williams himself is still a really good person and a player to just kind of float out to your rest of your league and see if somebody's willing to overpay for Javonte Williams and for, you know, the next coming of like the greatest running back of all time in Javonte Williams. Because these three trades we picked, I mean, Jonathan Taylor one was kind of close. We picked Javonte Williams on that one. But like, for the most part, these are some big name guys that are able to move Javonte Williams for. And, you know, we picked Justin Jefferson, we picked Justin Herbert. Dangle Javonte Williams out there and just see what you can get.
For sure, because it looks like he's up there, man. And again, he deservingly so. But like this should be like Jonathan Taylor value instead. Like,
yeah,
put Jonathan Taylor in all of these, and they're probably closer trades.
Right.
And it's also me and running backs. Like, I know it's really bad to at the end of all of that throw in my bias to remind everyone of my bias if I don't like running backs, but for the running back 3 or 4 to be able to just up to someone like Justin Herbert or Justin Jefferson, yeah, I'm going to do that all day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do it. What horrible trade did you find us? Wow, I can't believe you found a horrible trade in favor of Amon-Ra St. Brown after everything that we just went through. That's great. In a 12-team Superflex league, Amon-Ra St. Brown and the 401 for Chase Edmonds and Darrell Henderson. Let me paint a picture. Let's paint a picture. Raheem Mostert gets hurt before the season. He's just.
I was gonna say on week 1, but
he's a locker room guy. He's not even really in there to play. Cam Akers bring compensatory injuries. Like he like what we saw in the playoffs is all he was. He was pretty good. He's not great. So what we have now is running back 1 in Miami, Chase Edmonds, running back 1A or B. How do I still almost say St. Louis? It's been years. That's on me.
Years, yeah.
In LA, in Darrell Henderson. Like, that's the exact picture I need to paint to trade away Amon-Ra St. Brown. Okay, you can have the 401. I don't care. But, like, at least we know Amon-Ra is going to be an every week starter, regardless of what they do in the draft. You're going to play Amon-Ra St. Brown in your 12-team Superflex league, assuming you start at least 9 or 10 players.
Mm-hmm.
You need very specific things to happen to start these two guys most weeks. Like, we have no idea what that Miami backfield is going to look like. They still got Gaskins. Did they re-sign Savon Ahmed? I think they did, right? Yeah?
It's just Gaskin. I don't know why you pluralized him as well. It's Myles Gaskin. One of them. I mean, I agree with you that they have
good.
Gaskin.
There needs to be 2 of him.
Oh, they did. They did Chase Edmonds. That he is exactly what Myles Gaskin is. It's the same player. I'm going to show the tweet on this screen right now. I'm reminding myself, future Addison, when I'm editing this, to show my tweet that Chase Edmonds and Myles Gaskin are exactly the same player.
Now, I really hope we can see if future Addison actually listens to present Addison.
Probably not.
But yeah, like, man, like, I get it. If you're not in, like, if you want to sell a player before the draft, if you're not in on a player, that doesn't mean sell them for below their value. That doesn't mean sell them for 2. Oh man, it could be. Like, don't get me wrong. This is bad. This is by no means the horrible of horribles that we've seen in this section, but
it's just the advice of when you hear it over and over, this guy's a sell, you need to sell this guy now. And then somehow that turns into, I need to take almost anything for Amon-Ra, you know? But no. Not like this.
DLF Dynasty Trade Show. Not like this.
No.
Ending on our motto was the best way to end. So this has been Russ Fisher at Dynasty Outhouse, Addison Hayes at AmazeHayes_ for the DLF Trade Show, getting you ready for the draft. It's happening. It's happening. Get that office GIF ready. Throw that in there.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay
everyone?
calm.
What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Wait.
Everybody calm down.
And we'll see you next time.